तव कथामृतम् तप्त जीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ओम तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and 5th August 1882 in Ishwar Vidyasagar's house, and Thakur is telling something very important. Thakur is talking of Nirgun Sagun Brahma. The thing is that Shankaracharya has emphasized Nirgun Brahma, and there is a set of people who are called Jnanis. That means their mind goes more to Nirgun Brahma than the Sagun Brahma. And so, people in general, when they follow Vedanta, according to Shankaracharya, they give more value to the Nirgun Brahma, and Sagun Brahma is as if nothing, secondary something. In contrast with this, Sri Ramakrishna emphasizes that both are equally important. And those, you see, Saguna, a man meets Saguna Brahma in two different situations. On the way to Nirguna, he meets Saguna Brahma. And after realizing Nirguna Brahma, he cannot stay in that state of the mind always. Mind is not that nature. So from there, when he comes back, that Saguna Brahma is the real Saguna Brahma. And that Saguna Brahma is illumined Saguna Brahma. And that Saguna Brahma, Thakur calls it Vijnana. And the term is picked up from Gita 7th and 9th chapter. There Shankaracharya says, Vijnana means having experience of that Brahman, then this is the emphasis. And so is the question of emphasis. And the importance of this emphasis is, suppose you do not have that capacity to analyze everything and reject the world as unreal from the beginning. It is given to very, very few people. Now, in the light of those who come back and tell us that Brahman is Sagun also, another set of people, the majority of mankind, gets a way to go. And the way is through Sagun to Nirgun, and this Sagun is Nirgun Brahma itself manifested. So there is a big difference between the Saguna on the way and Saguna afterwards. But Saguna afterwards has given us hope that खरं दिसत नाही
नाही दिसतही नाही आणि तुमचा आवाज पण नाही येते महाराज.
अच्छा काय झालं पण
हो हो काय कळतच नाही.
स्क्रीन ऑन झाला ना?
नाही ना, स्क्रीन पण ऑन नाही झालेला आहे.
अरे हा पण
दिसतंय.
हा दिसतंय पण आवाज येत नाहीये.
नाही नाही, तुम्ही पण नाही दिसत आहे, आवाज पण येत नाहीये,
हो
काहीच नाहीये.
हो. अरे मी तो इम्पोर्टेंट बोलून गेलो. पाहतो आता वगैरह दिख भी नहीं रहे, आवाज भी नहीं आ रही. क्या मैं 20 मिनट पहले लगा दिया था. हाँ, सुबह आया ही नहीं था ना, मैंने इस पे चलाया था, तो इसलिए सेफ्टी के लिए मैंने पहले लगा दिया.
लेकिन अभी तो हो ना,
सब ठीक है ना. देखो तो जरा बंद करके फिर शुरू करूं क्या.
लेकिन अभी वो शुरू वाला गाना तो
तुम्हारे इसमें आ रहा है, तुम देखो. मुश्किल से बोलूं दे रहे हैं.
मेरा आ रहा है, दिक्कत
आ रहा है ना. ए राजा, तुझ्याच याच्यात गडबड आहे.
बरं.
कारण इथे मॉनिटर करतात ते आणि त्यांच्या याच्यात येते. हा
बरं, ठीक है.
उनको अच्छा वो लोग मतलब पहला 20 मिनट ब्लैंक दिखा रहा है.
हाँ.
वो शायद शुरू में भी है, वो शुरू से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, इसलिए उनका ब्लैंक दिखा रहा है. अभी जैसे 5 मिनट एंड के 5 मिनट पहले अगर आएंगे तो दिखेगा.
हाँ. अच्छा, ते म्हणतात की हॅलो राजा, हाँ राजा, बताने में टाइम. सुन में आ गए. हाँ, तो म्हणतोय की 5 मिनिट मागे जा.
मी तर पूर्ण शेवटी गेलो
नाही नाही, आता जर ब्लँक येत असेल तर तुझ्या याच्यामध्ये 5 मिनिट मागे जा. 5-6 मिनिट.
मतलब एकदम एंड में आने.
हाँ, एंड वर जा, अगदी बिगिनिंगला.
बरं, ठीक आहे.
ठीक आहे, मैं आता सुरू करतो. हाँ,
ठीक है.
So there was a technical fault. We are proceeding and we are talking that this is the light which Thakur is giving for the benefit of common humanity. Majority of the people cannot analyze or conceive of Nirgun Brahma, which is beyond I. And if the I is there, I will never vanish, because in Samadhi it vanishes and comes back. So taking the advantage of what happens when the I comes back, we can mold it from the beginning. That is a brilliant idea. It is there in Vedanta, not emphasized enough by Shankaracharya. In all the Upanishads it is there. In Gita it is very much there. And so, this is the important thing Thakur is teaching. So we saw last time that a man cannot stay on the last note in the music for a longer time. He has to come back. And so, from there we pick up. The man coming down from Samadhi perceives that it is Brahman that has become the ego, the universe and all living beings. This is known as Vijnana. The path of knowledge leads to truth. Path of knowledge. Analysis, importance on negation of Brahman, world, and reaching Brahman in that way. So this is the right path, and it reaches Brahman. It leads to truth, as does the path that combines knowledge and love. In the next sentence, Thakur is telling about the path of love. So path of love too leads to this goal. There is another path, knowledge and love combined. That means keep in the mind the results of that Vishleshana analysis. Keep in the mind that ultimately Brahman alone is real. But travel through the attraction which you feel. When Brahman is the creator, preserver and destroyer of the universe, then we become easily related to that Brahman. And so that is what Thakur has been teaching. And so, Thakur is teaching this brilliant idea. So 3 paths he is showing. Path of knowledge and love combined, and path of devotion. So, in the path of devotion, feeling is more important. In the path of devotion, I feel attracted to God. I do not care whether the world is real or unreal. But this path, the attraction towards God, makes me reach God. And if both are combined, that Brahman is transcendent, immanent, then it becomes a smoother path. So that is what Thakur has told here. Very important for the sadhakas. The way of love is as true as the way of knowledge. So no secondary, primary. You have that constitution, you go by that constitution. And if you have this constitution, go by this constitution. And if you have both, do both. Analysis, intellect plays more. Transcendent Brahman is in the view. World seems to be unreal. This is the path of knowledge. And they may or may not have the faculty of love or heart. On the other hand, the people, normal people, everybody has some love. And if that love is directed to Sagun Brahma, that is a path of devotion. And this path of devotion is as true as the way of knowledge. True in the sense, both reach the same goal, so they are true. Whether attraction and feeling makes you reach there, or analysis and intellect makes you reach there. All paths ultimately lead to the same truth. Ultimately. But as long as God keeps the feeling of ego in us, it is easier to follow the path of love. So God has kept ego in me, and I have to proceed. So the path of knowledge requires there should be no ego from the beginning. So it is difficult, and ego is there. So why not follow that path of attraction? The Vijnani, that means this constitution, Vijnani, who believes in transcendent immanent Brahman. The Vijnani sees after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that Brahman is immovable and actionless. That is transcendence. Like Mount Sumeru. Mount Sumeru is the mythological mountain in India, which is supposed to be the highest mountain in the world and unchanging. This universe consists of 3 gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So when we come to the world, it has 3 gunas. Sattva, poise, equilibrium, knowledge. Raja, dynamism, activity. Tama, inertia. So these are the essential qualities in the nature and in man. The universe consists of the 3 gunas. They are in Brahman, but Brahman is unattached. Now there in Brahman means Sagun Brahma. In Nirgun Brahma there is no trace of it is called Trigunatita. But the same Brahman is Sagun. And in the manifested Brahman, Trigunas are there. But Brahman is unattached. So, Nirgun Sagun Brahma is Thakur is presenting. And even in Sagun Brahma, the three are playing. But Brahman is not affected. Brahman is not attached to any one of them. Even a man of knowledge is not attached to any one of them. The Vijnani further sees that what is Brahman is the Bhagavan. Here, clear. Brahman, generally Nirgun Brahman. Bhagavan, here, till more personalized aspect. Sagun Brahma is all right, but Bhagavan is a person. And so, from Sagun Brahma, we come to the personal God. So, and this Vijnani sees that what is Brahman is the Bhagavan, the personal God. He who is beyond the three gunas is the Bhagavan with his 6 supernatural powers. This is the definition of the word Bhagavan. Shadaishwarya Sampanna. 6 supernatural powers are with him. What are they? Jnana, Vairagya, Aishwarya and all that. Living beings, the universe, mind, intelligence, love, renunciation, knowledge, all these are the manifestations of his power. So Shadaishwarya includes gross, subtle, virtuous, spiritual, all that is included. With a laugh. Now, Thakur is giving an example which everybody can understand. And so he is laughing. With a laugh, if an aristocrat has neither house nor property, or if he has been forced to sell them, one doesn't call him an aristocrat anymore. All laugh, because they understand this. God is endowed with these 6 supernatural powers. If he were not, who would obey him? Again, all laugh. That means very godhood of God would go away. Remember, Prasarana Upanishad, Yajnavalkya tells Gayatri, Gargi, that Brahman is absolutely transcendent. For that he uses 19 negatives. And then he says, under the rule of this Brahman, the world is moving. Again and again he repeats, under the lordship, ruling of this Brahman, the world is moving. So, that is what his Thakur is telling. Who would obey? So, under the obedience to Brahman, Yajnavalkya says, rivers, eastward rivers going eastward, westward rivers going westward, mountains are standing, all that is due to the rule of Brahman. Just see, now he is talking of Sagun Brahma. Just see how picturesque this universe is. How many things there are, the sun, moon and stars, and how many varieties of living beings, big and small, good and bad, strong and weak, some endowed with more power, some with less. Thakur has specially come to this point because there is a school of thought very much represented by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, that Brahman is Sama, God is Sama, God is Sama. So Thakur has come to this point to illumine Vidyasagar and people of this type. So it has raised a question in Vidyasagar's mind. Vidyasagar, Has he endowed some with more power and others with less? So Thakur will explain this on the basis of facts of this world. No philosophy is required for that. If Brahman has created everything, Master, as the all-pervading spirit, he exists in all beings. So don't forget that this does not contradict this Samabhava Brahman. As all-pervading spirit, consciousness, he exists in all beings, even in the ant. Ant is taken to show the difference in manifestation. But the manifestation of his power are different in different beings. That's why ant was brought. Otherwise, how can one person put 10 to flight? While another can't face even one. So, obvious case of physical strength. And why do all people respect you? So he has brought it home in this way. Why all people respect you? Have you grown a pair of horns? Obviously not. So it tells something which obviously is not, and people are respecting. So God has given you more powers. Laughter. This makes people laugh. You have more compassion and learning. The two fundamentals for which Ishwar Vidyasagar was famous. You have more compassion and learning. Therefore, people honor you and come to pay you their respects. Don't you agree with me? No, he's caught him. So he says, on this point, don't you agree with me? Giving his own example. Vidyasagar smiled. He did not immediately say yes, because it takes a strong mind to take time. But the things are obvious, he has shown. So he could not say no. And smile is almost acceptance. Master Masha is so beautifully presenting everything. The Master continued, there is nothing in mere scholarship. This is again pointed to Vidyasagar. That is over. That you have more learning, so he come to you. But now he says only learning is not useful. There is nothing in mere scholarship. Nothing in mere scholarship. The object of study is to find means of knowing God and realizing Him. A holy man had a book. And the object of study is to find means of knowing God and realizing Him. Knowing and realizing, knowing theoretically, realizing practically. That is the purpose of knowledge, study of scriptures. Otherwise, gone studying scriptures. A holy man had a book. A wonderful example, he gives actual example. You see, in contrast with this, we see the people, scholars. That book, our Upadesh Shastri. Shad Darshana Chanchu, in modern world, M.Sc, PhD, it does not lead to God. So beautifully connected. The object of study has a meaning. I will tell you another anecdote on this. One of our Swamis in Nagpur, Swami Shiva-Tattvananda, was studying BA Honours Sanskrit, like MA Sanskrit. And exam was near at hand. But due to Vairagyam, he had thought that he will not attend the examination. His guru, or my guru, explained to him everything. But the mind had not become fully clear. And at that time, revered Swami Pitambarananda, who was his guru, spiritual guru, was coming to Nagpur, second visit. So my Guruji told him, your guru is coming, you ask him. So he asked Vivekananda, blunt question. Will this MA in Sanskrit give me God? Was the question. Vivekananda Swamiji had a great big beard. So he first touched his beard. That means I am senior in age, at least respect that age. And then he says, my boy, MA in Sanskrit will not give you God, but MA in Sanskrit will help you to get God. MA in Sanskrit will not give you God, but MA in Sanskrit will help you to get God. So that is the characteristic. That is what first study is meant. So, a holy man had a book. When asked what it contained, he opened it and showed that on all the pages were written the word Om Rama and nothing else. He used to look into that book. So Thakur got curious, show me, he showed. In all pages only Om Rama is written. And nothing else. What is the significance of the Gita? Now it comes to Gita, the universal scripture, and in Bengali, these compound letters with ya are not pronounced in that way. Tyagi, Tagi. So, what is the significance of the Gita? It is what you find by repeating the word 10 times. It is then reversed into Tagi, which means a person who has renounced everything for God. Tyagi. And the lesson of the Gita is, oh man, renounce everything and seek God alone. So that is the purpose of the whole Gita. Whether a man is a monk or a householder, he has to shake off all attachment from his mind. So because I'm a householder, no. Here is an old story. In the times of Euclid, he, in a way, became a great teacher of geometry to people. And everybody is running to Euclid to learn. The king felt that I should also, because I am a king, so I should also know geometry. But then I will not, like a common man, study. So he asked Euclid, can you teach me in some different way? Euclid said, geometry does not recognize king. It is the same for all. So you are a householder or a sannyasi. If you want to reach God, this is the way. He has to shake off all attachment from his mind. Now sannyasi gives outside, the grahastha gives up in the mind. That is the difference. But mind everybody must give up. Chaitanya Deva set out on a pilgrimage to southern India. One day he saw a man reading the Gita. Reading the Gita means explaining the Gita to people. Another man seated at a distance was listening and weeping. His eyes were swimming in tears. Chaitanya Deva asked him, do you understand all this? The man said, no, revered sir, I don't understand a word of the text. Then why are you crying? Asked Chaitanya. The devotee said, I see Arjuna's chariot before me. I see Lord Krishna and Arjuna seated in front of it, talking. I see this and I weep. So he gets the whole spirit of the Gita. Somebody is reading Gita. So that becomes a suggestion for this man to feel the whole situation of Gita. That is not. Why does a Vijnani keep an attitude of love towards God? The answer is that I consciousness persists. Again and again is coming to that point, that going beyond I is the result of jnana. But in coming back as well as in going time, I which is related to God is all right. Because I consciousness persists. It disappears in the state of samadhi, no doubt. But it comes back. In the case of ordinary people, he is distinguishing here, the I never disappears. In Vijnani, it has disappeared and come back. In ordinary man, it never disappears. Example, you may cut down the Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha is what people call people tree. But the next day sprouts shoot up. So a very direct example which everybody has seen. All laugh because it is evident. So that is the position of I. Even after the attainment of knowledge, this I consciousness comes up. Nobody knows from where. That means the cause is not found. It is Maya. So it comes up. Brahman manifests like this. No reason. Example, you dream of a tiger. Then you awake, but your heart keeps on palpitating. So that is how the I as an impression is coming. All our suffering is due to this I. So I is the root cause of suffering. Now for that, Thakur spins a story. Now it has Bengali words, so we have to explain it. The cow cries Amba, which means I. That is why it suffers as much. It is yoked to the plough and made to work in rain and sun. Now, cow is not generally yoked, it is the bullock, but on the same species. Then it may be killed by the butcher. From its hide, shoes are made, and also drums, which are mercilessly beaten. Here also people are laughing because that becomes a clear thing, mercilessly beaten. Still it does not escape suffering. At last, strings are made out of the entrails for the bows used in carding cotton. These days all machinery, but that was the method. Then it no longer says Amba, Amba, I, but Tuhu, Tuhu. That is the sound comes. Tuhu, Tuhu means you, in Bengali. Thou, it has explained. Only then are its troubles over. O Lord, I am the servant, thou art the master, I am the child, thou art the mother. These are relations in which I is not important, God is important. So, tu. When Rama asked Hanuman, the context is that Hanuman always is busy messaging Rama's feet. So other devotees around them, they do not know his importance. And so Rama is asking Hanuman, how do you look on me? And this is the wonderful example. A wonderful example. And Hanuman replied, "O Rama, as long as I have the feeling of I see that thou art the whole and I am a part." It jumps totally, immediately, because we know body and mind and like that. Oh, you have Bengali, na? Same thing. Okay, he has taken the middle one, I. That is the context here. Oh Rama, as long as I have the feeling of I see that experience. Thou art the whole and I am a part. Thou art the master and I am thy servant. But when, O Rama, I have the knowledge of truth, then I realize that thou art I and I am thou. So this identity, and this is my firm faith. Iti me nishchitamati. The relationship of master and servant is the proper one for the common man. Since this I must remain, let the rascal be God's servant. Rascal, because if it is not related to God, it produces havoc. It is the cause of all miseries. So it is called rascal. But it can be connected with God. And if it is there, let it be servant of God. That is one of the basic relations. I and mine, these constitute ignorance. So this I is not real, and its product or associated thing is mine. So I and mine, these constitute ignorance, wrong knowledge. My house, my wealth, my learning, my possessions, the attitude that prompts one to say such things comes of ignorance. The attitude because of which people say this is ignorance. So not only the language, but the attitude. On the contrary, the attitude born of knowledge is, "Oh God, thou art the master, and all these things belong to thee." So possession also gone. My gone. House, family, children, attendants, friends are thine. So the whole thing is filled with God. So my attitude towards all beings should be, they are gods. One should constantly remember death. Another point now, new point. However much you will feel world is real and people are yours, but when the death comes. So death is a very important point in Indian thought. One should constantly remember death. Nothing will survive death. We are born into this world to perform certain duties, like the people who come from the countryside to Calcutta on business. This is how should be our attitude to life in this world. If a visitor goes to a rich man's garden, the superintendent says to him, "This is our garden, this is our lake," and so forth. But if the superintendent is dismissed for some misdeed, he can't carry away even his mango wood chest. Chest means a box. And mango wood was the cheapest available furniture in those days. He sends it secretly by the gatekeeper. It is his, but openly to take him is not possible. Laughter. Now, practical of mind is wrong. God laughs on two occasions. God laughs. He laughs when the physician says to the patient's mother, Don't be afraid, mother, I shall certainly cure your boy. And this is very wrong. God laughs, saying to himself, I am going to take his life. And death depends on God. And this man says he will save it. One of my friends, a great devotee, doctor, used to say that we give medicine. It is God who saves. And sometimes it appears, in spite of our medicine, God has saved him. The physician thinks he is the master, forgetting that God is the master. God loves again possession. Huh? When two brothers divide their land with a string, saying to each other, this side is mine and that side is yours. He laughs and says to himself, the whole universe belongs to me. But they say they own this portion or that portion. How many days they are there? It is concluded death. How many days they will be there? Indian airspace, Pakistan airspace. Can one know God through reasoning? So, mere reasoning, not the path of knowledge, reasoning. So, path of knowledge uses analytical faculty. But the base is that world is unreal, God alone is real. Otherwise, reason requires duality. Can one know God through reasoning? Be his servant, surrender yourself to him and then pray to him. Be servant, surrender yourself to him and then pray to him. That is the way. To Vidyasagar with a smile. With a smile. Again he is asking a question. Well, what is your attitude? So Thakur has taught so many things, and if Vidyasagar has absorbed them, then his attitude will change. So Thakur is asking, what is your attitude? Vidyasagar smiling. Someday I shall confide it to you, Allah. That means he is not expressing it in front of people. His official position is does not know God. And Thakur's words have influenced him. So he says that someday I will explain it to you. People are laughing, they understand that he is not expressing itself. Master laughing. Thakur understood it. God cannot be realized through mere scholarly reasoning. Scholarly reasoning, spiritual reasoning is different according to scriptures. This is scholarly reasoning. Intoxicated with divine love, the master sang. So that is his method. He thinking all this has become intoxicated. And then through song, in that intoxicated state, it will impress people much more. But after he has told the truth, then song. That is Ramprasad song, na? Ke jane man kali kya man. Shat darshan na hai darshan. Let us read English. Who is there that can understand what Mother Kali is? Even the 6 darshanas are powerless to reveal her. We have discussed this already. It is she, the scriptures say, that is the inner self of the yogi. This is what scripture will tell, that it is the inner self. Who in self discovers all is joy. Yogi definition. He discovers joy all is joy in his self. And Kali Mother is that self. She, that of her own sweet will, inhabits every living thing. That is her will. She expresses, lives in all the living beings. Yogi knows it, they do not. The macrocosm and microcosm rest in their mother's womb. Macrocosm, the cosmic world. Microcosm, man or atom. Both are in mother's womb. Now do you see how vast it is? Vast mother's womb is. In the Mooladhara, the yogi meditates on her. Now this is the tantric or yogic explanation of this situation. Mooladhara at the base of the, what you call that?
Spinal cord.
No, spinal cord. At the base of the spinal cord, yogi meditates on her. And in Sahasrara, Sahasrara means the topmost, in the brain. Who but Shiva has beheld her as she really is? So Shiva knows, and nobody else knows. Within the lotus wilderness, she sports beside her mate, the swan. Swan is the representation of self, and that is Shiva also. And so many lotuses are there in that Sushumna column. So it is like a forest of lotuses. And she and Shiva are playing different levels of consciousness. When man aspires to understand her, Ram Prasad must smile. Ram Prasad, name of the poet. To think of knowing her, he says, is quite as laughable as to imagine one can swim across the boundless sea. Endless, limitless. But while my mind has understood, alas, my heart has not. Mind has understood that I am I and she is she. But the heart aspires to realize her. It has not understood means it is not satisfied with finding the difference. It aspires to be united with her. Though but a dwarf, it still would strive to make a captive of the moon. No, moon is very high. And a man of normal height can never reach it. And he is a dwarf. But he can go away from the earth and reach him. And that is what the heart is prompting him to do. Not by raising his hand, but leave the earth, go to her, the moon. So that is what the function of the man's heart. Continuing, the master said, did you notice? The macrocosm and macrocosm rest in the mother's womb. Now do you see how vast it is? So mother is infinite and everything is included in her. Again the poet says, even the six darshanas are powerless to reveal. So that was the fundamental point, that reasoning will not reach her. I told you what Dr. Sarkar said. We may get a perfect system, but the truth will elude us. She cannot be realized by means of mere scholarship. So, what is the way then? One must have faith and love. Faith that ultimately I will reach her, faith that her nature is like that, and love, the attraction, the pull towards her. Let me tell you how powerful faith is. We have met with this story already. I'll tell the same story again. A man was about to cross the sea from Ceylon to India. Vibhishana said to him, Vibhishana is the eternal ruler of Sri Lanka, given by Rama. Try this thing in a corner of your wearing cloth and you will cross the sea safely. You will be able to walk on the water, but be sure not to examine it or you will sink. Don't have doubt. The man was walking easily on the water of the sea. Such is the strength of faith. When having gone part of the way, he thought, what is this wonderful thing Vibhishana has given me? And that I can walk even on the water. He untied the knot and found only a leaf with the name of Rama written on it. Oh, just this he thought, and instantly he sank. Disbelief comes close. Faith will carry you. Thakur has a story for everything. There is a popular saying, this also we have met with, that Hanuman jumped over the sea through his faith in Rama's name, but Rama himself had to build a bridge. So God is not lower than man, but this story explains the importance of faith. If a man has faith in God, then he need not be afraid, though he may have committed sin, nay, the vilest sin. So faith, the power of faith is being told. So opposite direction. He might have committed sin, but if he has faith, then he will not care for that. Then Sri Ramakrishna sang a song glorifying the power of faith. If only I can pass away repeating Durga's name, how canst thou then, O Blessed One, withhold from me deliverance? Wretched though I may be. The Master continued, faith and devotion. So he has explained faith up till now, but in the beginning I told faith and devotion. He comes to that. That means faith alone is not sufficient, though here the power has been shown. Faith and devotion. One realizes God easily through devotion. So faith is the base or supplementary portion. The force is devotion. He is grasped through ecstasy of love. So much devotion, one should lose one's normal consciousness in that love. And then he is grasped. With these words, the Master sang again. How are you trying, O my mind, to know the nature of God? You are groping like a madman locked in a dark room. He is grasped through ecstasy, ecstatic love. How can you fathom him without it? Only through affirmation, never negation, can you know him. That means God is. Then you will reach it. Neither through Veda, nor through Tantra, nor the Sikh darshanas. It is in love's elixir only that it delights. Oh my. He means God. God delights in the elixir of love. Elixir is Amrita. Oh mind, he dwells in the body's inmost depths in everlasting joy. So, heart, that is inmost depth. And that is the location where we meet God and we get joy. So, Anandamaya Kosha, in everlasting joy. And for that love, the mighty yogis practice yoga from age to age. Mighty yogis, powerful, but they practice that love. When love awakes, the Lord, like a magnet, draws to him the soul. So, our souls are God's shadow light, and the magnet draws them. While singing, the master went into samadhi. He had to go. All this talk. He was seated on the bench facing west, the palm of his hands joined together in salutation to God. His body erect and motionless. Everyone watched him expectantly. Vidyasagar too was speechless and could not take his eyes from the master. So this will teach Vidyasagar more than only the words. This is the state when one thinks of God, how much love has to be there. After a time, Sri Ramakrishna showed signs of regaining the normal state. He drew a deep breath and said with a smile, the means of realizing God are ecstasy of love and devotion. He experienced God through them and then he's telling. That is, one must love God. He who is Brahman is addressed as the mother. Love, nearness. He, it is, says Ramprasad, that I approach as mother, but must I give away the secret here in the marketplace? That means I am meaning Brahman only, that is the secret. I call it mother. From the hints I have given, O mind, guess what that being is. He is transcendent, but very close to me. Ramprasad asked the mind only to guess the nature of God. He wishes it to understand that what is called Brahman in the Vedas is addressed by him as the mother. Who is attributeless also as attributes. He who is Brahman is also Shakti. Shakti means the power to manifest as the word. That is the Shakti. When thought of as inactive, he is called Brahman. And when thought of as creator, preserver and destroyer, he is called the primordial energy, Kali. Here one important word is there. Na? Some people wrongly say, when he is stationary, he is Brahman, when he is moving, he is Kali. When I think of him as not moving, he is Brahman. When I think of him as moving, he is Kali. Brahman and Shakti are identical, like fire and its power to burn. When we talk of fire, we automatically mean also its power to burn. Again, the fire's power to burn implies the fire itself. If you accept the one, you must accept the other. So through this example, he has shown Brahma and Shakti are not different, active and inactive. Brahman alone is addressed as the mother. This is because a mother is an object of great love. One is able to realize God just through love. Ecstasy of feeling, devotion, love and faith, these are the means of reaching God. Listen to a song. As is a man's meditation, so is his feeling of love. As a man's feeling of love, so is his gain, and faith is the root of all. If in the nectar lake of Mother Kali's feet, my mind remain immersed, of little use are worship, oblations or sacrifice. These are karmas. They lead one to get love, and when love comes, these are not necessary. What is needed is absorption in God, loving Him intensely. The nectar lake is the lake of immortality. A man sinking in it does not die, but becomes immortal. Some people think if I is lost, I will die. But you have the appearance of Brahman, then you are going back to Brahman. Some people believe that by thinking of God too much, the mind becomes deranged. But that is not true. God is a lake of nectar, the ocean of immortality. He is called the immortal in the Vedas. Sinking in it, one does not die, but verily transcends death. So one day we explained this Ati ne karna chahiye is not applicable here. Of liturgies or worship, oblations or sacrifice. If a man comes to love God, he need not trouble himself much about these activities. These activities are worship, oblations and sacrifice. Holy activities. But if a love comes, then he need not trouble himself much about these activities. Much means they may continue sometime. One needs a fan only as long as there is no breeze. The fan may be laid aside how the southern breeze blows. Malaya. Southern breeze is the cooling breeze. Then what need is there of a fan? Now, we'll take this up tomorrow. Activities with the Sagar is doing. Thakur will show to him through this how you will reach God. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhuridajana Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Let me see what others are telling. Huh? We can see and hear. I talked, na? Pranam Maharajji, Dandavat Pranam, started. Oh, Uttarvar says started. After some time, huh? 11 minutes afterwards. Bhavani Mukherjee Pranam, Jai Shri P. I do not know is she. Okay. So, we have to come here and then come here.